Assalamualaikum everyone. Today we will present about relationship between persons' age and their pulse rate. Heart rate norms change with the age, influenced by factors like metabolism and heart size. Adults generally have a resting heart rate of 60 to 100 beats per minute, while a 10 years old range is 70 to 110 beats per minute. Studying age and pulse rate correlation provides insights into cardiovascular health. Infants have higher rates increasing with age. Factors like cardiovascular efficiency, hormones, fitness, and overall health contribute to variations. This research aids healthcare professionals in diagnosing cardiovascular issues and establishing age-specific norms. Individual factors like genetics and lifestyle also impact pulse rate. Understanding the complex interplay between age and pulse rate advances knowledge of cardiovascular health variables. The objective is to determine the relationship between person's age and their pulse rate and also to observe the factors that contribute this research. The significance of our research is to aim to contribute to establishing normal ranges and identifying issues related to changes in pulse rate with age, providing a more comprehensive perspective on heart health by understanding the diverse factors influencing pulse rate, including age. The limitation is that our study relies on secondary data obtained from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services through an internet resource, offering valuable applications in baseline comparison, comparative studies, and public health planning. However, limitations such as potential data inaccuracies and the inability to access detailed information warrant careful result interpretation. Based on the data we had, independent variable is the person's age, while dependent variable is their pulse rate. There are two types of variable present in statistics, which is quantitative and qualitative. But in our research, we only use quantitative variables, which is numerical values. For the list of data measurements, we have bar chart, scatter plot, numerical technique, and mean.
Next, 2.3 Correlation. Correlation is a statistical measure that shows how two sets of data are related. The strength and direction of correlation help quantify the degree of association between the variable. The correlation can be determined by using this formula, where R is the correlation coefficient, N is the number of observation, sum xy is the sum of the product of x and y. Sum x squared is the sum of the squares of all the values of variable x. Next is the square of the sum of all the values of a variable x. Regression is a statistical technique used to analyze the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variable. The equation for regression is as follows: y equals to a plus bx plus u. The regression coefficient is used to measure the average functional relationship between variables. It can be determined by using a formula, which is y equals to mx plus c, where y is the response, m is the coefficient, x is the predictor, and c is constant. As for the coefficients of determination, it is most likely to be used in order to distinguish how the difference in a variable can be explained by a difference of another variable. R squared is the percentage of variation in y that is explained by the x variable. We can use the formula above to find the coefficients of determination.
I will be presenting Chapter 3 Result and Interpretations. 3.1 Data Presentations. Figure 3.1.1 and Figure 3.1.2 shows the pulse rate for a person with the age of 20 to 65. Research demonstrates that the heart rates of younger and older individuals are higher. At 200 bpm, the greatest pulse rate is found in people between the age of 20 and 25. However, those 65 years of age and older have the lowest pulse rate, which are 155 bpm. As people age and reach adulthood, their pulse rate will usually decrease as their bodies finish growing, and the cardiovascular system becomes more efficient. The data shows a consistency from the person with the age of 20 to 65. Statistic analysis. The title of our study is the relationship between a person age and their pulse rate. The independent variable in this data is a person age, while the dependent variable is their pulse rate. From the output data that we got from using IBM SPSS, it shows that the minimum pulse rate is from the age of 20 years old and the maximum pulse rate is from the age of 65 years old. The mean and standard deviation that was calculated from this data for person age is 42.5 and 15.138 respectively. Moreover, the minimum value of the pulse rate that has been recorded is 155 and the maximum is 200 bpm. Last but not least, the mean and standard deviation for pulse rate is 177.5 and 15.138 respectively. 3.3 Correlation and Regression Analysis. The correlation value that we got, which is R, is 1, and the result shows that the two variables have a strong positive relationship, which means that an increase in one variable will cause the other variable to increase or vice versa. The coefficients of determination, which are R squared, that we get is also 1, which means that 100% of the person pulse rate is determined by their age. And the regression line that we got is y equal to 220.0 minus 1.0x.
Chapter 4 Conclusion 4.1 Report Summary. Based on our study, it shows that a person age affect a person pulse rate. We have choose mean, correlation, regression, and coefficients of determination as our numerical technique. The Pearson's product moment correlation coefficient R that we get is 1.000. This means that a person age and their pulse rates have a positive linear relationship. On the other hand, the regression analysis portrayed the result of R squared equals to 1.000, which means 100% of a person age determine their pulse rate. Other than that, we have obtained y equals to 220.00 minus to 1.00x as our regression line. The value of our constant A and a slope B are 222.000 and negative 1.000 respectively. To conclude, older people have lower pulse rate than younger people because as people reach adulthood, their pulse rates usually decrease as their body finishes growing and the cardiovascular system becomes more efficient.